Hello everybody, I'm Tyrex, and in today's video I'm going to be going over how to use Tyrex effectively in the Loomian Legacy Battle Coliseum. This is one y'all have been asking for well over a week, and I said I'd deliver it on Monday, but now it is Wednesday because I'm a liar, I guess. I tried to record this before, or at least the showcase. I generally tried to record the showcase first now, and it just wasn't working because either my circumstances or the group of people I recorded with just decided to not be nice. But either way, we've got stuff now, so it's time to go over how to use Tyrex. So as always, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the set you see on your screen, we're going to go over a few of the things that Tyrex achieves when you put it on your team. It's kind of a hybrid between a wall breaker and a cleaner. Its offensive power, its raw offensive power is high enough that you could get some very nice damage output without setting up and break some walls. But it also can function as a cleaner because its speed is kind of decent. And well, it has also the bulk to back it up. With terrifying, it can also turn itself into a soft check for something like Hunter. Hunter is like the top meta threat right now, even more so than Borak, because its power jaw and its coverage is insane. Tyrex can actually, take hits from it, given that it's not Blaze Chomp. Although Blaze Chomp still doesn't even do half to it. Because of terrifying, but the other moves do, a lot less than Blaze Chomp, obviously. So it can actually function as a soft check to Hunter if you pair it with something else. So that's fun. Have you ever seen a Zulong or Eliguana being used in the Coliseum?
The answer is yes, because Zulong is everywhere right now.
Well, this thing just turns them both into mincemeat. And it resists elemental burst, immune to electric. Eliguana doesn't really hurt it too bad unless it's like an offensive Eliguana at like +2. But yeah, you can basically knock those electric types out very easily because you are an earth type and you have good bulk and resist elemental burst. It also 74 speed, that's the same thing. That's the same speed as Ikazune. It speed ties it and pressures most Ikazune into running a Nimble personality, which is dropping its damage output. So that's also a plus just by existing. Just it being on your team threatens Ikazune. So that's fun. Now, to go over to the specifics of the set, we've got a very brawny Tyrex here. This is not a set I made. This is sent to me from Teen Agent. So there you go. Thank you for the set. It's a very brawny, clumsy, sluggish. Its ability is obviously terrifying. You're not going to use Power Jaw right now. It only has Gnaw and Chomp to take advantage of that, so you're just not going to bother. Item of choice is Health Amulet. It pairs well with Scapegoat and Power Focus to help you clean better, and just increases your longevity against things like Hunter. TP spread, 64 HP, 48 melee defense. That lets you tank any Borak hit, given it's at a neutral attack state. So if it gets a bounce boost and you switch in on it to terrify it, it's at neutral. You will guarantee take a hit from it at full health, obviously. The 80 HP or the 80 range defense also guarantees you take a Smart Power Cuffs Fire Breath from an Ikazune. That's more of a, these two benchmarks are more of a last resort. If you absolutely have to, you'd obviously rather not take them, but if you have to, you can. The 192 attack, that one that ups your damage output, and two that makes sure that any Borak that comes in on you will lose its attack. And 104 speed outspeeds a lot of the 60 speed war creatures like Seer Knight and Obsidragon, or at least the bulky variants of them. So you outspeed those, and you can get an Earthquake off on the Seer Knight and a complete demolition off on the Obsidragon. So Yeah, and then you see the 12 energy, that lets you get 5 earthquakes off without having to rest. It's very common that you'll just be clicking earthquake when you come in, so it's a nice energy benchmark to have. Anyway, the reason you'd use the Very Brawny set is to apply a lot of immediate pressure. It's got a high attack stat. It's the same as Borox. Obviously, it doesn't have the extra boast boost, but still, earth and metal hit hard, especially considering the fact that you have complete demolition. That's 150 base power. You can rock heavy bash because complete demolition does have the drawback of you having to rest a turn, but in conjunction with scapegoat, given the right circumstances, like you set up a scapegoat and they switch into something like a Luminami. No, that's not what I meant. They switch into something like a Garbantus. You can actually chunk them very hard with complete demolition while also staying behind your scapegoat, because unless they're invested, their clay slap is not going to break your scapegoat. Although I'm maybe a battering ram does, but either way, the thing doesn't hurt you very much. And you can get a big hit off of it. Obviously, it's still tank it, but you can at least chunk it very hard for something else to take it on later. So that's something your scapegoat plus complete demolition can be useful for. But if you don't feel comfortable with the recharge turn, you can run heavy bash for more consistency. One, it doesn't miss, and two, you don't have to recharge. But that puts you more towards a cleanup set rather than a wall breaker. So just be mindful of that. Your damage does drop significantly. It is less than half as powerful, but you don't have to recharge. So yeah, that's basically the Very Brawny set. So on to the next set.
Every like this video gets, another Zulong gets decimated by Tyrex. So if you want to put a stop to the overrated noodle, like the video.
Here we have a Brawny, Nimble, very clumsy Tyrex. This is one I made myself, so that's why you don't see a credit on the bottom. Same ability, same item, Terrifying with Health Amulet. It's just for longevity and just general utility. Power Draw is not useful, and I don't really like Staunch that much. So there you go. The TP spread here, 88 HP, 136 melee defense. That will let you tank, or that'll let you put up a scapegoat in front of a minimum attack Obsidian, aka all the bulky ones, or the exclusively bulky ones. After you terrify them, and it will let you keep your scapegoat for one turn, because their earthquake will not do enough damage. So that's what that's for. You also live a Nimble Ikizune Fire Breath, and since you're Nimble, you will outspeed a smart one. So if need be, you can risk an Ikizune hit, and if they're smart, you'll outspeed them, and if it's Nimble, you'll live. So there you go. It's more of a last resort thing, like the previous thing. The 144 speed, that creeps the common benchmark for pivot Valkyries. I know Valkyrie's not all that relevant, but it's still something that lets you get the jump on them. And then the 12 energy for the 5 earthquakes again, and then the remaining just go into attack. This is more focused on cleanup because you are faster and obviously less directly invested into offense. I personally like this one more right now. It's just more consistent. You can outspeed Borok. The other one you're not faster than Borox. And I much prefer to be faster than them, let you pick them off rather than them picking you off. And like I said, you outspeed Smart Ikizune, so that's neat. Again, you can still run the Heavy Bash over Complete Demolition. It's fine. The Complete Demolition is just for dedicated wall breaking power. But the Heavy Bash, again, it's for late game cleanup. Hopefully one day it gets, Steel Crusher or whatever it is. But, hey, that's just something to look forward to, am I right? So what this does better than the Very Brawny, like I said, outspeeds outspeeds the Borak, and it gives you more general bulk versus Hunter. So you soft check it harder. So that's fun. But yeah, those are the primary differences between the two sets. Obviously, you're trading off immediate damage, but again, the general longevity of this set just helps it. So it's not hard to set up stuff. Now, for teammates, I would definitely suggest something like Stratosaur to bait Thunder Strikes. That lets you get in for free, or Thunder Strikes, Thunder Chomps. You know, helps you get in for free versus things like Zulong or Hunter. Bear in mind with Stratosaur, they both Tyrex and Stratosaur hit for 2 times by Blaze Chomp, so be wary of that. But Stratosaur also pairs well because it's immune to Earthquake and it can check Tata, which hurts Tyrex a lot. Another teammate, Ferroglyph, outspeeds and threatens a majority of the Tyrex checks and counters that we'll go over in a little bit. Ursul traps the plants. I mean, that Ursul does what Ursul does, am I right? And then Obsidragon can, you can pair it with Tyrex's Terrifying to help it wall melee things like Borak and Hunter better, and Tatop. And it also helps with Eruptodon. Now, Eruptodon's not seen so much right now because Luminami is a thing and Obsidragon is a thing, but it's still something to be wary of because it hits really freaking hard. So always be wary of Eruptodon. And Obsidragon helps with that. Anyway, I said that I said something about checks and counters to Tyrex. Well, here's one of the big downsides to Tyrex. While it's a generally good Loomian, its typing and kit leave a lot of things able to stop this thing. Once it gets going, it's really hard to stop. But initially, this thing's got a lot of things that can stop it. First of all, you got your plants, Chartiki and Tatop. They can switch in at least once and threaten you with their stab moves. Both of them. Both of them have both of their stab moves that hit you for super effective. So that's not fun. Metal Streak Stratosaur. Originally, in my How to Use Stratosaur, I said Scapegoat would help you beat this thing, but it is. I didn't know that the support sound moves bypass Scapegoat. Not the offensive ones, but the support ones. So Metal Shriek will bypass Scapegoat, lowering your defenses, so it will break you before you can break it because you have to commit with complete demolition. So Stratosaur is something to be wary of. Eruptodon, it can outspeed and OHKO you with Fire Breath if it's nimble. Fun fact, a very nimble, max speed Eruptodon, or not very nimble, very smart max speed Eruptodon is actually outsped by this nimble one, so that's cool. It actually hits 127 speed rather than you hit 128, so that's fun. I didn't actually calc for that, but that was a fun fact I ran into while preparing this video. But yeah, Eruptodon will OHKO you because Pyro is, it's dummy strong. Anyway, Setimars, it's a bulky earth type. It'll take your hits and it will smack you hard back. It'll 2-hit KO you easily. And if you're not careful, it can set up on your team. Garbantis, this is more on the counter side. Garbantis will eat your hits for breakfast. If it comes in on a boosted complete demolition, that's a different story. It'll take a lot, but in general, it's an overall counter. It can take your hits, it can set up on you, it can abuse you with provoke and poison, all that jazz. Luminami, a lot of Luminamis are more physically defensive, or at least, a little bit. So they can eat your hits at the start, and any variant of Luminami will 2-hit KO you with Maroon. There's no avoiding it, unless you decide to run a more range defensive Tyrex, but I haven't been seeing the general utility in it, but, that's an option if you want as well. Ventation. Ventation is not that great of a Loomian, but right now in the current meta with Hunter, you can soft check that one. You can check Borak, you can, or wall Borak, you can wall, what was another one? There was a third. Tyrex, Borok, and then there's like a third physical attacker that I'm not thinking of right now. I don't remember. But there's a third. Oh, Garbantus, yeah. 3 highly meta-relevant threats Ventation can wall. So Ventation has some use in here. So I think I'd mention Ventation here. It can wall you. Geyser Burn will always break your scapegoat. So that's not fun. So those are the things you need to watch out for with Tyrex. It's got a lot that can stop it initially, but if this thing can get going, it gets going hard. And yeah. And if you ever feel like trading 1-to-1 Loomian, you can just complete demolition what's in front of you. It's going to either do a butt ton or just knock it out. So yeah, that's basically how to use Tyrex. If you're looking forward to the showcase coming later today, make sure you are subscribed and have that notification bell turned on so you don't miss that. You could be there when it's uploaded. Also, if you want to join my Discord or check out my Twitter to see what else I'm doing with my time, both of those are linked in the description. I've got a whole community in the Discord. You know, we're trying to improve PvP every day in there. So make sure to check those out. But yeah, that's basically it from me. And yeah, I'll see you in another video. See ya.